because I thought, well, yeah, it's actually quite right.
He said to me, I'm having no more operations. And I said, well, that's it. That's finished. Yep, that's the way you want it. That's the way it be.
When he was in high school, I remember him saying he wanted to be a political journalist, and then he took himself off and went into uni and did his course.
I'd had a couple of relationships during uni, but nothing serious. And then I met a girl called Sue, who was like me, pretty loud, very pretty, not like me.
He was angry at the world because he was judged as soon as people looked at him, and because he isn't the norm, he was judged badly generally by people as being stupid, or, even just being judged as different is enough.
She understood that my deformities and having no legs were a big part of me, but weren't all of me. And we fell in love. We got married and ended up having a baby. When we went and told my dad that Sue was pregnant, he was excited, but I could tell there was something behind that. And he was like, oh, have you talked to the doctors? I said, well, the doctor confirmed Sue's pregnant. He said, no, but about whether you're okay to have a kid. And I was like, no, I don't need to. And he said, oh, but what if your problems are passed on?
The doctors blamed it on an antidepressant drug the wife was on. So I was worried whether some of that may have been still left in his body, and it may affect his child.
I had a big sigh of relief when everything was confirmed that certainly Imogen didn't have any of the kind of deformities that I had. But, that also made me reflect and think, well, should it be that much of a relief? Like, if I can't handle having a kid who has the same sorts of problems as me, then who can? I'd certainly fallen in love with Sue, and I'd fallen in love with a woman who'd fallen in love with me, but we had a couple of years where we weren't really connecting. And I couldn't see myself being there in 20 years. And I thought, if I can't see myself being there in 20 years, I shouldn't be there now. In the mid-90s, I started working at the Queensland Times at Ipswich. And it meant I'd rock up at work every day and get to write and talk to people and hear interesting stories. I had the opportunity to start working in state politics, to work for the then Minister for Transport and Main Roads, Paul Lucas.
I think the first time you meet Robert, of course it's confronting, but that lasts about a day. As a media advisor, it is critical that you have credibility, and the best thing that you can have as a minister with any advisor is someone who tells you when they think you're wrong.
And this dam is absolutely critical to our water future security.
In the job of Premier, you encounter a lot of ministerial staff, people who come in to talk to you about an issue from time to time. And some of those people stand out, and Robert was one of those.
Anna Bligh's office needed someone to come in and sort of head up their media unit. If the Premier asks, you come.
And he was just someone who popped, someone who you noticed because he was so smart, frighteningly intelligent at times, but also had a wicked sense of humour. And often when you're dealing with a crisis, a sense of humour is something that you really value.
I'd gotten the sense, particularly after Imogen was born, that it was time for me to tell my story. I thought, I can actually repay what all of the things society has given me, all of this work doctors have done, all of the work people making my artificial legs have done.